Alright guys, HyDra again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Saturday is done here in Madrid. 4 teams remain going into the Championship Sunday. Not the 4 teams I would have expected going into the start of the weekend. Some big results today. Heretics make it to the Sunday, can you believe it? But they went down to Thieves in highly controversial fashion. Certainly HyDra's moment on the skyline has caused a lot of debate today, and for very good reason. Very much interested to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. We're just going to crack straight on today. This was one of the series of all time. Cloud9 played Rocket to start off the day, and it was no surprise to me that this was an absolute banger map 1. From a couple of minutes in, it looked like this was going to be insane, and it was quite the start to the day, to be honest, right? Rocket managed to bring this back and win it somehow. Notable series here for Cloud9. For both Rocket and Cloud9, either of the teams had lost this series, there would have been conversations on either team in terms of whether changes were necessary. That is now, I think, definitely true with Cloud9. Sib dropped 40. Attach didn't, and that's been the main conversation point. Yes, Mack did not have the greatest series here, but he's been probably their best player so far this year, and he's dislocated his knee. So, you know, not like that should affect his play theoretically, but it was a banger map 1. After that, unfortunately, well, to be fair, the game 2 was insane as well. We had another 5-1 comeback. I don't know how Cloud9 bottled this. There were a couple of moments. Geo had a big 1v1 against Attach at a time. The final round as well was kind of questionable, and Rocker somehow pull off. I mean, we talk about this team being kind of gritty, down to the wire. They're never going to give up. They're never going to give in. And you see that again and again with this team, but it was a critical way for them to lose. Now, the drama really arrived in map 3 of the series. This was unfortunately replayed about 1 million times. They won the first round C9. The second rounds, it looked like they were maybe going to win, but Nero then lagged out. He had scan and repair, whatever the issue was. It seems that there was some debate on whether they should have replayed the round or not. They then replayed the round, and they had an audio issue, so they had to replay the round again, and it took forever. But in the first round they played, before it was counted useless, basically, because they replayed it, PaulX had a pretty clear 2-pump, it seemed anyway, against Attach. And that seemed to be, you know, red card. Zuma decided, right, yeah, red card clear as day. Some debate, of course, the fact that PaulX, that round that PaulX did that in, actually never counted, because they played it again, and then Cloud9 won the map anyway, and then Rocker won the map 4. So, yeah, it was a series, to say the least. It took forever. But in the end, Rocker get the victory. Estriel, this guy, I mean, Geo is still a bit up and down, but Estriel, he's just getting better and better. Very, very impressed by him. And PaulX, honestly, this protocol, PaulX started out like 2 in 10. I was almost ready to declare that, like, it might be over, right? But PaulX, he actually turned up, and this might, like, genuinely save his career. That turnaround on that map 4, critical, I think, for his career. So, you know, great stuff from Paul. On the other side of things, Sib had a great map 1, then kind of slowed down a bit. Kremp played pretty well. Mack was okay, I guess. But Attach again, you know, 74 kills, not that much damage. I think if Cloud9 are going to make a change, and maybe you might argue they need a 2-man change, but whatever you want to argue, I think the bottom line is something's got to give with that roster at some point, and a top 8 placing, beating only Boston, is not the result they've been looking for at all. But the red cards were not slowing down. LA Thieves played Heretics, and this was always going to be interesting. Obviously, I felt the Thieves would be favoured, but Heretics, they've got the home crowd support. They're a team that can always compete in the respawns. It's always the search and destroy that I worry about them a bit, and we'll see that again in the last series of the day that we're going to discuss. Well, actually, the penultimate series. We'll get to it in a few minutes' time anyway. But Heretics, they went down map 1, but in controversial fashion, mainly because of this moment. And this was a crucial moment in the map. When I saw HyDra do this, I thought, interesting, because I've not seen many people do this at all. And HyDra just lay down on the stairs. He was on a 5 spree. He got the kill on Metals coming around the corner. And this was pretty important in Thieves closing out this map. Now, if you watch it in full time, this is a pretty clear Stairglitch. It's generally been snaking that's been talked about in this game, but HyDra lays down on the stairs. And this gunfight takes quite a while, because you can see that Metals can't even shoot him, right? Metals knows he's there, but Metals is trying to hit bullets, and he does land 1 bullet on HyDra, but he can't kill him because of, you know, the Stairglitch, right? We saw this last couple of years. It's apparently not gone away, unfortunately. People lay down on stairs, but when you lay down on the stairs in the way that he did, you basically cannot be seen, and the other guy, you know, can't see you. You can see him. He gets the kill. So this, I would say, is pretty straightforward in terms of a red card coming through, and even Bean said as the series is ongoing, you know, we're getting dirty with it now. And I think that's the big takeaway, really, because Zuma gives HyDra the red card, and the funny thing was, I thought that even after this was over, and people were asking the players, like, hey, hey, was that a red card? What do you think? Was it a Stairglitch? Was it not? Thieves are like, oh, well, you know, I guess it is what it is. And this is the point, right? Scrappy was pretty important in making the decision to get it from the 2-pump to the 1-pump with the snaking thing, whatever. But when it comes to Stairglitching and breaking the GAs, this is when the pros' process for doing so is called into question. Because if I'm Thieves and I can choose between, do I Stairglitch for this kill and maybe get banned for a day of scrims, or do I not do that and maybe die and lose my team the tournament? Like, when it's that sort of debate, oh, I could Stairglitch for the tourney, or I couldn't and lose. Oh, no, I lose a day of scrims. Like, what a shame, right? If it's a bigger punishment, then sure, there's some debate on it. But also the other point is, if, let's say, Paul X and Rocker get blacklisted for this issue, and let's say it happens for Thieves as well in the coming days, could they just scrim each other? I know that it's not really in the spirit of the regulations that they're trying to enforce, but, you know, is it really a great process? I think that's the issue. When you see players seemingly deliberately break the GAs, you also have to wonder the question, really, as to whether that's actually, you know, is there some reason why they seem to be doing it in terms of the actual punishment here? And that's the thing, right? Ghosty and Scrap, they had a look at it and they decided, yeah, looks like a Stairglitch to me. Trey asked Scrappy on it as well and he was like, yep, hold that. Unlucky, I guess. So that's the thing, right? It doesn't seem like there's much remorse or much like, oh, that's unlucky, I suppose, guys. They won the map. They went on to win the series. This was competitive, right? Very competitive. The red card was 6-4. The protocol was 3-2. And sure, Heretics were red carpet on the other side, but they still didn't play bad COD this series, and I think they would have seen some serious potential from themselves here. And let's not forget, they are still alive in this tournament. The next series I was on the desk for. It's brilliant time with Puckett, Ali, and Nameless, and all those guys. It's yeah, always a pleasure to be invited on. Shout out everyone involved in the COD League who makes that happen sometimes when I'm at these events. Unfortunately, I wanted a bit of a better series here because I wanted my desk segment to be slightly longer than, you know, what ended up being about 40 minutes from start to finish. This game one, though, man, this will live on in the ages. A critical map potentially in the history of this tournament, maybe in the history of some of these teams. Look, maybe FaZe win anyway, but the way this happened, right, aBeZy was shooting bodies, it looked like FaZe were going to win. Toronto brought it back to what was a crazy moment. I mean, it's so difficult to even describe what happens here. The point is that at the end of this game, Ultra, somehow CleanX spawned in the back. Maybe he shouldn't have done. FaZe probably should have blocked it a bit harder. CleanX spawns in, they get the kills. Ultra get the break. The issue is there's 10 seconds on the clock. So Ultra decided with a 2-second lead, they were going to get out of the point. Because, you know, you can get out of it, the clock goes down, and this makes sense. I wonder if, as a result of this map, some teams might consider whether there's like an ideal number, whether it's 2 seconds, whether it's 3 seconds, whether it's 5 seconds that you get to as a bit of a buffer, and then you get out of the hill. But I see what they were doing here, right? Because Ultra got out of the point. Unfortunately for them, they all died. And then aBeZy got in the point himself. And with 0.3 on the clock, 3/10, aBeZy gets in the point. He gets 1 tick, he gets 2 tick, and he gets 3 ticks just before the Ultra guy goes in the hard point. And as a result of that, as soon as the contest comes through, FaZe just win a 237, 236. Absolutely insane map one in this scenario. As I say, if Ultra stay in the point 1 more second, this is a tie game. And I couldn't believe my eyes. The venue was like going crazy after this one. And it's just one of those maps in COD history that you think, wow, what could have been? It's not like any team was at fault, I don't think. It's just great COD being played by 2 great teams. And just, you know, one team wins. Mesmerizingly good. I know that, you know, some of the guys were discussing whether when it's like basically the end of the game, when the clock is down to 0, maybe contesting should keep the clock at 0 until it's, you know, until someone wins the fight, I guess would be the argument there. So intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comments below, rather than because, you know, it was contested and the game ended as it was contested. I think there's some debate as to whether that shouldn't be the rules, but intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. After that, Toronto, I think mentally it was a challenge. They did go up 2-0 in the search though, and they had a few winnable rounds in there. they will feel like Toronto, they could have won this series, but FaZe were too good on the hacienda. So it was a 3-0, another 3-0 for FaZe over Ultra. And, you know, I was hoping this was going to be more competitive. Fair play to Insight really delivering a series here. JoeDeceives was pretty underwhelming. CleanX had a good map on the map 3, but apart from that, he was pretty weak, to be honest. And again, Cellium, Simp, it's business as usual. So they move on to play Thieves in the next round, an absolute banger game. And look, if Toronto couldn't do it to their old nemesis, to be fair, FaZe usually beat Toronto. But when Scrappy was there, obviously they got a good result against FaZe last year. This time Scrappy's on Thieves. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much expected, I would say, on some regards. Winners bracket final, but the winner of that is absolutely going to become the favourite for the entire tournament. This, though, was the next series, and again, couldn't believe my eyes on this one. It went all the way to a Game 5. I feel like this series was always destined to be a Game 5. They went back and forth. Rocker eventually won the Game 4 to get to a 5. And this was a 5-0 lead for Heretics. But all of a sudden, Rocker, the gritty team that they are, they started to bring it back. They won round by round. There was a couple of clutches in there. There was a critical round where Rencor and an Estriel had a 1v1. Rencor got the first kill, and he could have defused the bomb. Estriel just didn't check it. He just, I don't know, balls of steel, I guess. He just decided that Rencor was not going to defuse with the crowd as it was in a LAN environment. Estriel just sat in the corner, won the round. And then the round 11, I think I've got to give some credit here to PaulX, right? Because PaulX on the AR is not that good. He was better this tournament, much better than online, and that's going to be critical for his chances to stay on this team. But when he picks up the SMG, he genuinely is kind of frying. So, yeah, the full sale got denied. I mean, Rencor eventually clutches a 1v1 against PaulX in the round 11. Like, you genuinely couldn't make this stuff up. It was a phenomenal moment for Rencor as well. You guys know that I've been talking about him now for some time, and I think clearly on this evidence, Rookie of the Year, hands down. But it was a phenomenal moment really with Rencor because, you know, the Spanish fans in the venue, great to see them, the home team, make it to Sunday. I think it's also a great story for the league that they ran an event in Madrid and Heretics had their best performance like ever. And I know that you look at their run and you say, okay, they beat an underwhelming OpTic and, you know, they've just won one series and losers. But still, this is a big deal for that organisation. I think it's a great thing for the event that we have a team that the home fans, obviously the French fans will be rooting for HyDra, but the home Heretics fan will be rooting for Heretics to make a run. And they've got a real chance. Like, they've got a real chance of doing some damage here. So, and getting just a stellar result. I thought it was fantastic. I also thought this was great as well. Obviously, the Gorillas fans were great, or the Gentlemates fans after their team lost yesterday. But this was out at the front of the venue when just by the entrance. And the team, after their victory, they came outside and they were kind of getting like serenaded in some regards by all of their fans. I thought it was just great scenes really outside of the event venue today. So, but a really heartwarming event in many respects. And the final series, as I just showed the scoreboard real quick for you guys, was none other than Ravens and TJ Halley versus Toronto Ultra. Now, I thought Toronto were a team good enough to make it to top 3 this tournament, and I think they are. But Ravens, man, I mean, it's amazing the turnaround, isn't it? From day one getting 50-point clubbed by the boys on Thieves to all of a sudden looking like the force on land that we expected them to be. I don't know if it was the fact that, you know, Vivid, back against the wall, you know, his eyes injured and all this stuff. Look, you guys always know that I count on Slasher and TJ to turn up on LAN. And that's pretty much exactly what they've done. TJ especially, I gassed up his redemption arc earlier today. I'm not going to do it again in great detail. But the fact that TJ, in critical rounds, makes clutches to win Search and Destroys, to win Ravens the series on both occasions, especially because Ultra are known as like the search team. Ravens are also known as the search team. This is actually a series, I think you guys might remember me saying right back at the start of the season when I said, like, when Ravens are looking good, I'd love to see Toronto Ravens right now. And that stayed true today, and to be honest, for very good reason, right? Because after going up 2-0, Ultra then brought it back. They won the game 3. They won the game 4 with a big takeover play here from Beans. He had a great map on the hacienda. And this was the 1v2 here from TJ Halley, right? The bomb was down. To be fair, he only had to get the 1 kill, but he got the critical kill. And again, TJ, you can like always count on him in Search and Destroy. It's actually insane how consistent this guy has been. And this was the, you know, the final results here again. TJ just in the positive. And Toronto, the home team who hosted the events, they go home top 6 on the Saturday. So lots to talk about here. But, you know, let's just take this all in for a second. We have FaZe versus Thieves. Let's be real, one of those teams is going to win this event tomorrow. But the third, fourth teams on paper are going to be Ravens and Heretics. Like, what a tournament. It's the first tournament of the year. There's always surprises. There are always upsets. But the way that it's gone like this with the dark horses that were eventually found, absolutely stunning stuff. So massively interested your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think about the Stairglitch and drama as well? Back at the venue tomorrow for the big day. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Shaking right now, I'm sorry, but I've been dreaming for this when I was child.
It's a great moment for him. You deserve it.